5 years ago, journalist Eduardas Eigirdas left his job at a radio station. He was planning to launch a new business magazine, but instead of taking a new job, he took a 1-year break and spent it with his newborn son. Maybe this is my last child, my third son. I thought that I would not take this opportunity to be with him. However, I understood that I would be punishing myself if I didn't take this chance and continued working just to prove that I'm capable of doing something, achieving a career. I have absolutely no doubts in this case, and I feel no regret because my expectation at this time came true. I experienced beautiful moments with my newborn son. In most cases, the consequences and difficulties of parenthood are to a larger extent felt by women who continue to shoulder a disproportionate part of the responsibilities involved in caring for the family. Numerous data shows that for the majority of the EU member states, that women have a more active role in the labour market and that men increasingly share more household and childcare tasks. Despite this encouraging news, gender inequalities in sharing responsibilities are ever present in every EU member state. These gaps can be proven by a recent Eurofound survey which indicates that about 80% of the time spent in caring activities for children, for dependents or for disabled persons provided by the family is mostly done by women. On average, employed women spend 39 hours a week in home care activities compared to men's 26 hours. The impact of parenthood on women's and men's employment rates does not occur outside of the gender reality. The employment rate of women with children is 10% smaller than that of women without children. For men, having children does not affect their employment status. Actually, it has an opposite effect in that men with children are more likely to be employed compared to men without children. Data also indicates that they even tend to progress faster in their careers. The European Institute for Gender Equality works closely with the national governments of the member states and with the European Commission in analysing the status of gender equality and in developing reliable statistical data. Recently, EIGE has carried out a study that looks at the way EU member states ensure the balance between work and family care responsibilities for both women and men. The results of the study show that there are still gender inequalities when it comes to care responsibilities for both children and for elderly members of the family, with significant differences between EU member states in what concerns fathers' take-up of both paternity and parental leave. Still, women are the main caregivers as they represent the majority, close to 90%, of take-up of parental leave. When it comes to take-up care responsibilities for the dependent elderly, informal care given at home, men share these responsibilities in a higher proportion compared with their share for childcare responsibilities. Women still remain the overall informal caregivers at 61%, however. The unequal distribution of care responsibilities between women and men has a different impact on women's and men's careers and on their employment status. No one said to me, "Eduardas, look how far you've fallen." Although I noticed that some men were quite astonished with my decision and looked at me with condescending smiles, like there was something strange or wrong with my choice. There were also some comments. One I especially remember came from a representative of a ministry. He said to me, "Eduardas, what did you do? We didn't have this problem before, only rare cases. But now that you put your story in the media, more and more men are taking parental leave."
Well, I think the good examples support, first of all, a change of behavior, the individual change of behavior. In countries, in regions, in contexts where gender equality is a value and is a tradition, this is not a new topic. Exists, it works like that. And then you have from individual behavior, from tradition, community tradition, then you have relevant policies.
Reconciliation policies have for a long time been devised to encourage women's participation in the labour market and to facilitate the balance between work, private and family life. In order to regulate different measures of reconciliation, in 2006, the European Parliament and Council adopted a directive on parental leave. This directive regulates the field of application, meaning having a contract or a working relationship, the maximum age of the child, the length of leave, and the type of right. It further establishes that working men and women must benefit from an individual right to parental leave and that they have the right to be protected against dismissal, whilst ensuring their right to return to work. In 2010, the Parental Leave Directive was changed. The minimum number of months for leave for each parent increased to 4, and 1 month now is a non-transferable period from mother to father. When it is lost or not taken, employees returning from parental leave have the right to request changes to their working hours for a limited period. These rights apply to any type of contract.
It's important for the couple, if it's a heterosexual couple, to have both the woman and the man involved in the care responsibilities, because like this you can offer an example that not only the women are capable of changing diapers and doing the cookies, but it's also a man possibility, and they have the abilities to do this. Then it also provides a good example for the friends, for the family, for someone outside of the couple, and also can give strong reason for employers to start to implement policies that take into consideration family responsibilities of their employees.
Reconciliation policies have been applied for a long time. These measures, however, have not been sufficient to make enough impact on the situation of women in the labour market and to address demographic challenges.
Well, basically, we are looking at gender roles in society pertaining to care and to work, where people are sort of categorized into possibilities depending on their gender. So if you are female, you are meant to be taking care of relatives and children, etc., or be in the caring professions, and if you are male, you are expected to be in the decision-making, technical, scientific areas.
The involvement of men in childcare began receiving attention at policy level only recently. Over recent years, an increasing number of countries have been reforming their legal systems to better cater for the needs of fathers, and certain countries have secured more active involvement of men in childcare.
We don't have enough developed positive action for men. And this is one of the those instruments should perhaps be developed with EIGE, and this is a very important task in my view.
The reconciliation of work, private and family life remains one of the core EU policies aimed at achieving equality between women and men. EIGE's role is to provide up-to-date and harmonised data on the ways in which the European Union and its member states address the challenges of reconciling the differing responsibilities of both women and men.